Okay, in this video, we're going to go through your training and the reasons why you've probably got it wrong. And I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it to be the most efficient and get the best results for the amount of time that you've got for your age as well, moving into your 40s. Okay, yeah, so let's just jump onto the whiteboard. Right. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to have a quick look at the training different elements that we've got here. So we've got isolation training and then we've got integration training. All right, so isolation training is typically the kind of bodybuilding approach towards things where we're looking at likes of chest, back, legs, shoulders, legs again. All right, so we're going to go through that in a second. And then we've got functional and traditional strength training with also cardio and mobility. So you're integrating everything there. All right. So first of all, let's look at the reasons why this is all going wrong. If you are following most of the fitness influencers that you will see across social media, they will all be promoting this kind of stuff, which is basically a hell of a lot of isolation work, bodybuilding. Now, if you have got 10 to 14 hours a week, to spend in the gym, then great, all right? But you probably don't have that, yeah? Or unless you want to become a professional bodybuilder, then this is all good stuff, okay? But you probably don't want to do that either. All right, so let's look at it. The typical kind of routine that we've got now is like a chest and tris one day, then we've got back and bis, then we'll have one leg day, then we'll have a shoulder day, and then another leg day, okay? So typically it's kind of two kind of leg days and done in different ways. And then we've also then got the three then different upper body days there as well. Or sometimes you may want to do like a push-pull legs times 2, but it ends up being the same kind of beast, you're just doing things differently, all right? But anyway, this is all of basically the kind of the same stuff. So here's the problem with that. When you think about these routines here, the likes of doing chest and then tris, you're going to need to do at least 10 sets, okay? Yeah, so you'd be looking there really kind of 10 to 14, maybe even 20, right? So you need to be looking at the amount of sets you're going to do there. It's going to take you around about 30 to 40 seconds for each set, and then you're going to need at least 2 minutes to recover, 2 to 3 minutes, then before you go on to the next set, okay? And so same then when obviously you move on to the triceps, obviously because you're going to be working your triceps when you do your chest, you're not going to do as many sets, but you're still going to need to do a good amount of sets on the triceps. So if you start to think about these now all in total, it's going to take you at least an hour, 15 minutes, probably an hour and a half. If you're warming up well, then it's definitely going to take you an hour and a half. So if we were good and efficient, let's just say now that each one of these workouts here would then be taking us 90 minutes, all right? So our total time of getting all of this done, okay, in the space of 1 week is going to be 7.5 hours per week, okay? So 7.5 hours per week is what's going to take you, and then you've got to think about your commute as well. If the gym is 15, 20 minutes away, then that's an extra, 30 to 40 minutes per session that you're going to have to spend getting to and from the gym. So this becomes here a big time suck when the reality is we're probably looking more at a kind of 7.5 to like a 10-hour chunk of time that you're going to have to spend to then get all of this, all right? So let's look at the outcomes that it's going to give us. What is it going to do outcome-wise? Okay, muscles, okay, the muscles, yes, are going to look better. We will get the muscles looking better by doing bodybuilding kind of work. Of course we will. However, the joints, okay? So when we are doing a lot of isolation work, what we are going to find is that the joints are going to get tighter as the muscles get tighter as well, okay? The only reasons why the muscles won't get tighter is if you then spend enough time doing a lot of stretching and mobility, which again then is more than time added on. So if we're just looking at just isolation training here, we're still going to have to spend a hell of a lot of time, and obviously then that is going to negatively impact the joints. Okay, so that is going to happen. And when you're in your 40s, you're probably going to be in that position whereby the joints are already stiff and a bit tight and sore anyway. So probably not the best thing to do from starters. All right, then we're looking at cardio. Okay, I haven't even talked about cardiovascular training, have we? Okay. The heart and lungs are important, okay, for executive function, to obviously keep away the likes of neurodegenerative disease as well. We want to be able to obviously have that impact on the health aspect of the body, okay? So cardiovascular training is really important and it's great for fat burning as well. So we want to have cardiovascular fitness in there, okay, yeah, but that's not going to give us any of that. We've then got to then look at mobility. So this is the way that your body is able to move kind of day to day. So the joints moving really well, but then moving into positions whereby the muscles can control moving into those positions. So if you're going to run, jump, or you're really kind of twisting and reaching, going into like kind of long distances in terms of the muscles, getting like long muscle length tension, then you want to be able to hold and to be able to manage that well. And that's basically called good mobility. So think about it as like almost like flexibility, but with like a little bit of strength to it as well. So that's what mobility is. And so that's what that training is not going to give you if you're bodybuilding. So your mobility is going to suffer as well. And then obviously the last one there then is we've got the time. So we've got an absolute time suck. So by following this kind of method of training, by using machines all of the time, by doing the isolation stuff, the typical traditional stuff that you will see in gyms and with a lot of influencers talking about, this is going to be the outcome there that's going to happen, which is the reason why it's the wrong way to go for you. If you are obviously short on time, or you can't spend 10 to 14 hours a week, okay? That's just not going to be a good training plan for you, right? So when we start to look at the other aspect to it now, when we look at the integrated approach, okay? So if we start to look at things now from a perspective of we're going to blend everything, if you look at cardiovascular training, okay, yeah, so we used to do this across 1 week, you've got 2 cardio sessions there that you could do. If you've done 20 minutes cardio twice a week, that would work really well for you, okay? You would get some good results from that, okay? You're not going to become, an Olympic athlete, but if you just keep doing that consistently each week, then you will get good outcomes from it. And so let's just use a run as a good example there. Within 20 minutes, once you get really fit and fast, you'll be able to hit around about 5K. And so let's just say at the start now is you're unfit and it takes you, say, 20, not say 25, I was going to say 40 minutes. Okay, so say it takes 40 minutes to hit 5K, right? If that's what your time is, okay, that's fine. But then you want to work your way then down to getting that time right the way down. You don't go for the 5K. All you go for is just doing the 20 minutes, okay? That's all you're doing. And then over time, the distance that you cover in that 20 minutes will then get further and further. Obviously, and you want to keep on going to the point where you can almost kind of reach that 5K in 20 minutes. That is great fitness, okay? So 20 minutes, okay, yeah, twice a week, all right? That's our cardio sorted. Then we've got functional training. So we've got functional training 1 and we've got functional training 2. So 2 different functional training sessions whereby we're going to hit the whole of the body, whereby we're doing multiple kind of joint exercises. So the kind of exercises that you can like see on the screen here now, whereby you're going to be moving those multiple patterns, you're going to be moving multiple planes of motion, but you're also still going to be doing it from a perspective of challenging the muscular system, okay? So it's not just about doing kind of like fancy exercises and movement patterns, it's also about challenging the system, so we hit the muscles well. When we hit the muscles well, then we get the response, okay, then of growing lean muscle tissue as well as good dynamic strength, okay? Yeah, so 2 birds, 1 stone. So that's what functional training is going to be able to give us, all right? Then we've got traditional strength training. So that's your kind of typical stuff such as, your old school squats, deadlifts, all that kind of gear, all good stuff to do, okay? Heavy pull-ups, all that kind of work. So there's your kind of traditional stuff there. Do that once a week again there for 1 hour. So we've got 2 traditional, which is going to be an hour each. We've got 1 traditional, which is going to be an hour, 2 functional, which is going to be an hour each. So there's 3 hours. And then we've got obviously the cardio sessions there, which are then going to be your 40 minutes in total, okay? Mobility here is an everyday thing. Now, although it is kind of in training, okay, we were kind of classifying it as training, we just want to be calling this like, your daily drills, all right? You want to be getting up first thing in the morning, while the coffee's brewing, spend 10 to 15 minutes maximum just getting into some mobility exercises, typically in the areas where you're feeling like really stiff and really tight, okay? So you want to be working into those areas to loosen off those hips, the back, the knees, ankles, etc. And so if you just spend 10 to 15 minutes each day in that zone while the coffee's brewing, okay, then you're going to see a significant difference in terms of how you feel and obviously as well how you perform from a fitness perspective and a day-to-day movement perspective. So that goes in there. And so I'm not going to classify that in the time because it's just something that can be done anywhere 10 to 15 minutes each day, all right? And so if we were to look now at what your total workout time is, okay, each week, we're now just looking at 3 hours, 40 minutes, okay? So 3 hours, 40 minutes, plus as well, you've obviously got the factor of doing your 10 minutes, which is first thing in the morning, mobility, okay? But that's it. We're not going to include that with that. Now, the beauty to the likes of functional training is as well, is that you don't always need to be in the gym to be able to do this, okay? So again, if you are short on time, then you don't have to do that at the gym. So then that saves you the commute, okay? You just do it straight from home, boom, job done, all right? So again, this is gonna save you a hell of a lot of time by doing your training structured in this way, all right? Let's now have a look at the outcomes here. So, by training the whole of the muscular system dynamically, will challenge all of those muscles and they will get a good response from that. And over time is that you will see a big difference, okay? So we will get the muscles to look better, okay, which is great, which is what we're after. Joint-wise, because we're moving multiple joints, okay, then the joints are going to get better, okay? Yeah, they're going to become a lot more mobile. So that's going to be the great outcome there that we're going to get from that. Then we've also then got the cardiovascular impact. So obviously from the side of doing the 20 minutes, okay, a couple of times a week, we've also then got the factors of, in some of your functional training patterns there, they're going to be kind of quite cardio based as well, because you'll feel that they are hard work and they are very demanding as you keep on going and keep on going, okay? So as you get challenged in the functional training aspect to it, then you're going to feel a cardiovascular effect as well. So we've got the cardio effects from the functional, but also the deliberate cardio as well, a couple of times a week, all right? So cardiovascular is going up, heart and lungs are getting more efficient. Then we've obviously got the likes of mobility, which we've covered before, which is then basically releasing those joints, releasing the tissue, releasing the fascia around the body, so your body just moves really well, okay? And that's what we want. We want to take away those aches and pains, move really well, so if we've sat down for long periods of time, then we don't have all of those postural problems, take away the pains in the knees and the back, etc. Okay? So there's the mobility there. That's going to improve. And obviously, with the likes of the time, it's not going to take anywhere near as much time there as well. Okay then, team? So, if you want to start getting your training right, you need to kind of avoid all of this, okay, and start thinking about doing more of this here. All right, then, team? So if you need any more help or support, okay, or if you want to learn how all this is done, you know, you can just follow my channel, okay? There's plenty there on the playlist, okay, which is going to come up at the end of this video. Or if you want to get in touch to find out more, then obviously just click the link below and that will take you to my website and be able to see my coaching program from there. All right, and team, so good luck, look into this, and I hope it helps.